Sometimes I don't know if I'm live or not. There we go. Hi, good morning, guys, or good afternoon. It's me, Brandeline Johnson, and I want to share a little story about how I used to be afraid of the end of the world. And I feel like it's super relatable, especially for all the crazy that's going on in our world right now. So I wanted to share a little bit about the beginning of my spiritual awakening, rather, process. Basically started from fear. And so I would love for you guys to engage with me on this. So if you are watching the replay, please say, I'm watching the replay. And definitely leave some comments about, like, are you related? Are you in a place of like ungroundedness, in a place of fear of the future, feeling like control is being taken away from you? And this is how I felt in 2010, I want to say. So I want to share my story with you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you're here live, let me know if you're here live, because sometimes I don't see the comments and sometimes I do. So I will just jump right in and share. So I tell you guys a lot of times about the real reason why I went on a spiritual quest, even from the age of like 9, because my mom rented the Nostradamus series and it scared the living shit out of me. And at the end of the video, I was like sitting there as a little kid waiting for them to say, how we could create a better future, how we could stop all these horrible things that Nostradamus was saying. And so through my life, there's never been somebody that says, well, this is what we need to do, right? And so this is kind of how my Awaken program was born, because my Awaken program, or going through my awakening rather, completely saved my life, I guess is what I want to say. So in 2010, it was about 2010, I lived in Las Vegas. Maybe it was a little earlier, but because my daughter was pretty young, but it was around there that there was this huge floods happening. I think in Reno, Nevada, and even in California, there were so many floods. And the news lady came on and she said, "We're having floods of biblical proportions." Like, I still to this day remember the words coming out of the lady's mouth on the news, and the sheer freaking panic that went through my body. Like, I literally was afraid that we were going to get flooded and that we were going to die. And this is like a recurring dream I have a lot of times too. And I do have this very strange fear of tidal waves, right? So obviously I must have drowned, probably in Atlantis, probably died in the water, right? But when that lady said that, I had this sheer panic, and I was like, what are we going to do? Not only for myself, but for my daughter. So, because I was like, how far can't run very fast. Like, what are we going to do if this flood happens? And I wanted to share this with you guys now, because from that moment, that fear is what triggered me to look for more answers, because I didn't know if the world was going to end. And if it did, what was I here for anyway? What was my point of being here? And I certainly didn't want to freaking live in fear. So I kind of went on this quest, right? So part of my quest, this is, maybe you guys don't even know this, was from that moment, I was like, 2012, the freaking world is really going to end, right? So in my head, I was like, and if you guys are talking to me, I can't see the comments. But in my head, I was like, I'm going to live on the other side of the Rocky Mountains by the time 2012 comes, because there's gonna be fucking California's gonna fall in the in the water, right? And Nevada, at the time I was living in Las Vegas then, that's where I'm at again right now. But so in my head, I was like, I gotta get on the other side of the mountains. So fast forward, like, I didn't really have a plan to get across to the other side of the mountains, but something really, really, really weird happened. And I tell you guys this story all the time, that I went to Traverse City, Michigan on a vacation, and I was like, oh my God. And even though there's this huge lake, right? I mean, hundreds of miles of lake, my fear, like, I didn't let my fear of tidal waves come, because even then when I did move there, I was still like, oh my God, if an asteroid comes, I know I sound like a crazy person, right? If an asteroid comes, a tidal wave will come get me here, even in Traverse City. But the pull for me to live there was greater than my fear, right? Keywords, greater than my fear. So what happened is I went through like the spiritual awakening, walking through the woods, and I was like, holy shit, I could feel somebody looking at me. I could feel people, beings. And I was like, shit, are fairies really real? Like, because my daughter always believed in fairies. And I'm like, something's going on. So then I sought it, right? I ended up working with an awesome medium who I saw on Facebook, right? You want to meet your spirit guides? I was like, well, yes, maybe this is the next step. And I'm going to tell you what, the minute I met my spirit guides, the minute I got validation that they were really real, that's that's when, right? And then I go through my spiritual awakening. And the minute I realized that I had these other abilities, right, with working with this medium, the fear went away. So I want to repeat that because I found out who I really am, what I'm really here for, and I had comfort in knowing that even when I'm out of here, my existence still goes on. And I know everybody in this group probably believes that to some extent, right? Because that's why you're here. You're here in your spiritual awakening community on Facebook because you believe to some extent that there is life after death, or you're here because you want to find that out for yourself. But point being of me sharing this story is there's so much crazy going on in the world right now. I feel I feel obliged, or I feel like it's my duty. I feel like it's my responsibility to help the people that had that feeling like I used to have come full circle and come at peace and stand and be grounded and feel safe in a world that's freaking bananas right now, right? So that's why I love my Awaken program because, and come full circle. So if you guys are just now joining live, go back and listen to the beginning because come full circle, I made a program that is part of the solution to the problem that I was listening to with the Nostradamus. Or if you guys ever watch, like, I don't even know what channel it's on, Discovery Channel or some channel that says, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and this is what's going to happen if we don't change it. But they never say how to change it, right? This is why I'm so passionate about my Awaken program because this is the first step for you guys to create major freaking change in your life and in the lives of others, right? I know it sounds crazy, but developing into your psychic and mediumship abilities is going to fill this, what I call the God sized hole, right? It's going to fill, it's going to answer all your questions about life. It's going to take away your fear of the end of the world or the fear of your death, right? Or fear of death of your loved ones. And it's going to help you start shifting this planet, right? So I just wanted to share this little bit of my story with you guys today, not to keep you on here too long because I know our attention spans are so short now. I'm trying to keep my videos under 10 minutes, under 2 minutes, right? So I'm sending you so much love. Oh, yeah, now I finally see a comment. Pam, yeah, thank you for saying that. She says, absolutely true. Your Awaken program is awesome. It really, and I'll be sharing some of the other people's testimonies soon. But one that Pam sent me on a video, literally, she said it answered all my questions. Because aren't you out there just wondering? Aren't you out there curious? And here's the other thing that I wrote down that I didn't want to forget is the thing that happened for me, right? Is I was able to make decisions based on what my ears are ringing really loud right now. I'm like, what? They want me to say something else. Um, I was able to start living my life in a guided way instead of following what was laid before me, right? Instead of following what was laid before me career-wise, instead of following what was laid before me with, toxic relationships-wise, what was laid before me business-wise, right? And as a person and standing up and being who I am, right? Whereas before, when I wasn't connected to who I was, and I was absolutely, like I told you guys, the words that lady said, biblical proportions, just made my body shoot out, my soul shoot out of my body in absolute fear to be where I am now, even though crazy, crazy world is, right? But knowing my position as a soul, as a light worker, and doing my duty, right? As an awakened woman, this is what the Awaken program is all all about for you guys. I want you to feel whole. I want you to have your questions answered, and I want you to be empowered and use your abilities for the greater good, right? So I'm sending you guys so much love. Hey, Athena, I see you jumping on, leaving comments on there. But I'll leave you with that, and I'll drop the link to the Awaken program in the comments.